New day, same me. No rush, I'm where I should be. Turn the noise down, see me shining. Low-key thriving, low-key thriving.
Okay, put down the scissors. Don't run to the store to get that box of hair dye because you don't need a dramatic reinvention to have a soft reset. I know, it sounds easier said than done. You're talking to the queen of chopping hair off, bleaching it. But guess what? You don't need to burn down your whole life to start over as a reinvented you. This episode, we are taking the pressure out of the glow-ups, making micro changes that are actually going to stick and fit our lifestyles. And we're taking a look at what real life resets look like. And hint, it won't be trending on the gram or the TikToks, but we definitely are celebrating better habits, healthier mindsets, and setting those boundaries. Hey y'all, welcome back. It's your girl Mel G. And today's conversation, this is one for anybody who feels like they need to get their life together, but doesn't have the energy to completely reinvent themselves. Because somewhere along the way, we were sold this idea that in order to grow, you had to do it big. New routine, new body, new mindset, new everything. Like, if you're not having a full-on glow up, then what are you even doing? But let me be real with you. That kind of pressure is exhausting, and you already know it's canceled in this space. And honestly, it's really not sustainable. So today we're flipping that narrative. We're talking about why soft resets will take you further than those drastic reinventions ever could. Why do you want to have to burn your life down to build something better? And what it actually looks like to make small changes, small intentional changes in your habits, your mindset, and your boundaries that stick. Because over here, we're not chasing a whole new version of ourselves. We're just learning how to show up a little better, a little more aligned, and one step at a time. So if you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or like you're not doing enough to change your life, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about the pressures of the glow up. We see it on social media. There are shows dedicated to it. And if you've watched the recent headlines, I mean, you've seen like the reality check with America's Next Top Model, how traumatizing having a glow up can be, having to reinvent yourself can be. When every episode, I know I would look forward to the episode where they drastically change these potential models' looks. And I mean, these girls went through it. The changes were changes. And there's so much pressure to not only glow up and be this perception of beauty, but there's also the pressure to perform for that look. Does your personality, does your attitude match how you look? There's so much pressure behind a glow up. And I feel like it's even more relevant today now that we have social media. I mean, hello, the documentaries, news. I mean, we're constantly being fed, A, what you should look like, and B, how you should perform according to your looks. I mean, there's a trend going around to dress like your age. And I looked up how to dress up like a 37-year-old, and it does not match my personality. Like, there are some looks that I love and that are killer, and maybe I'll share them. Stay tuned for those posts. But that's just not me. That's not who I am. I've become very conservative conservative as I've gotten a little bit older with my fashion sense. I still like to be a little wild, but there's so much pressure that we put behind a glow up. You have to look a certain way. You have to act a certain way. And if we reinvent ourselves, God forbid, that reinvention has to totally match everything. It's got to be this big, dramatic, explosive reinvention. When honestly, it really doesn't have to be. Now, I am the queen of reinventing myself, especially I feel like when I need a change, I always change my hair. If you've been here for a while, you've seen me go through it. I've been a bleach blonde, almost platinum blonde. I've done the chunks, red, teal, blonde, highlights. I've done the relaxed hair. I've done natural hair. I have the pixie cut. I had long hair. I had straight hair. I had bangs. I did the swoop. I've had like pitch black hair. This is all natural. I am rocking the curly natural pixie cut. My hair has not been dyed in several years. So I always felt like if I needed a glow up, it's going to start with my hair. And that's just my poison. Now, it could be different for everybody else. Now, let me tell you what. Every time I would make a drastic change to my hair, like take it back to the time that I had teal highlights, lowlights, I don't know what you want to call them. I put teal streaks in my hair. I felt like I had to be this rebellious chick, this kind of baddie, this, I don't know, like rules don't apply. Now, is that normally me on a normal basis? Absolutely. I'm a Capricorn and a true Capricorn. But I didn't need to put that pressure on myself because I had pieces of teal in my hair. It was just a new look that I was trying. But I went the dramatic end. I went for that drastic change because I thought if I make this drastic change, it's drastically going to change the way I see myself and my body image, and I'll instantly become more confident and more comfortable in who I am. Do you really think that worked? Nah, it didn't. If we're being real and if I'm being honest with myself, every time I was like, I'm going to change my hair because I'm going to love myself more as a redhead. I'm going to love myself more as a bleach blonde, because if you were going to go platinum, you have to have the confidence to go platinum blonde. And my hair was short and it was natural and it was curly and it's very thick. So at times it would be froey and at times I would get the perfect spiral curls. It would just kind of depend on the weather and what products I would put in my hair. But I was like, you know what, Mel G, if you want that confidence, you're going to go full on platinum and it's going to make you the most confident person ever. Those insecurities did not disappear. Spoiler alert. Nothing changed. Now, I was feeling myself. We had that Tobey Maguire Venom moment, strutting down the street, doing, the finger triggers and, the little salutes here and there. I had that moment. And it lasted for all of 2 weeks. And then the insecurities crept back in and the vulnerability, and you're still not good enough. And now you've got this platinum hair that doesn't match your attitude. And WTF, what are you doing? Why did you do this? And on top of all that, the damage that I did to my hair was insane. So now I've got damaged hair, a damaged ego, and I'm slowly turning orange because I wasn't keeping up with it, and my dark roots were coming back in. So now I'm a hot mess. I'm feeling even less empowered than I did when I started this whole process. And it's all because I put that pressure on myself, because you're going to go platinum blonde and you have to be this way. You have to act this way. I put that pressure on myself. And I'm going to call it the Marilyn Monroe effect. You're this gorgeous creature and you've got to have the makeup on and you've got to perform and you've got to be on top of it and you've got to be confident and you've got to be sexy and a little bit wild. You've got to be an icon. And if looking at her history taught us anything, it's that it can be a lonely and painful road. That's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure society puts on. And I'm sure she probably put a lot of pressure on herself to keep up with that facade and that performance. So the pressure from glow-ups are real. It's almost like you can't even relax or enjoy the changes because you've got so much going on. Now, if you're the type of person that can have that glow up with zero pressure, more power to you. Like, what's your secret? I need you to spill, because it was not that easy for me just to go into it and still be authentically me. So if you've got the secret sauce, honey, there's no gatekeeping here. Spill the tea. Anyways, what I've come to learn as I age with grace and go on with life is that we can make micro changes that can actually stick. Little things, tiny baby steps without all the dramatics, right? So some of these micro changes, sitting with yourself, I think that's going to be the hardest one. So that's what I'm going to start out with here. If you really learn to sit with yourself and hone in on who you are in this season of life, because as you know, it's going to change. You're definitely not meant to be the same person your entire life. But sit with yourself. Find out what's serving you. Find out what's working for you. Really, I think, reflect on your inner self, and then you can work on that glow up. You can work on the tiny steps to achieve the exterior glow up. But first, you need to work on that inner glow up, which is way easier said than done. And I think having time just to sit with yourself, to reflect on where you have come from to where you are now. I'm nowhere near the finish line. So I'm kind of in this midway life thing. And when I sit with myself and reflect, I think back on all the good, the bad, the lessons I've learned, and the storms I've weathered, but also, the parades of my life, celebrating those moments and taking those key moments, sometimes writing them down. I've really gotten into journaling recently. There's great apps on phones, your technology. I mean, I've really, even going back to paper sometimes, putting a sticky note on my mirror and writing down little changes that I've made. I'm actually sticking with a podcast. I've been a little bit more consistent with it. So that's a micro change I've made. Even if I just record 30 seconds a day, that's a little micro change I've made versus 0 seconds a day. So I pat myself on the back for that. Planning, figuring things out, little changes, because I would ignore my host duties for a while and try to scramble everything last minute, and it would show up last minute. Now, when I talk about my inner glow up, and I used my hair as an example, and yes, I went through the drastic change recently of chopping off all of my hair to do my black girl pixie cut. I think what I came to realize is I am not my hair. And yes, it's more than an India Ari song. But when I made this chop, it allowed me a little bit more time in the mornings to concentrate on myself, to concentrate on my kids. I wasn't there detangling my hair for 30 plus minutes and then having to do my actual hair routine and getting ready for the day. It allowed me a little bit more peace. So the dramatic change of the big chop allowed me to make micro changes in my daily routine that gave me back a little more time in my day. And I love that. I love that. I love the ease of the short hair, and I love having more time to spend on my daughters. I spend a little bit more time on my daughter's hair in the morning, or we spend more time just hanging out in bed, even if it's just 5 minutes. I love just laying in bed with my kids for those extra 5 minutes of the day. So that's a little micro change I did. Again, some other things I've been doing, reflecting where I've been and the confidence. And like I said, being platinum blonde and being super confident and feeling like Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man for those 2 weeks was great. But then I had to reflect on what happened in the meantime. What happened after that? Why did my confidence start slipping? And why did I go back to feeling insecure the way I did? Is it because I didn't keep up with that look and the maintenance it required? Or was it something entirely different? So a few of the micro changes I made, like I said before, journaling, reflecting, noticing where I've been. Did something trigger that disappointment in myself? And I'm going to say it did. A lot of times I identify myself with my work, and I've talked about it before, but during my platinum blonde phase, I was going through a lot at work, and um I don't know, just really it was really kind of a time where I wasn't hitting all my goals. I maybe wasn't doing so well, so I thought, of course, I'm gonna go platinum blonde. It's gonna change the way I sell, the way I talk to my clients, the way I network, and it did. It did for a while because, hello, my hair was the talking point when people were like, "Mel G, I haven't seen you in a while and you're blonde now." Yes, drastic change from being like jet black hair to platinum blonde. So it was a talking point. But then when I would see my clients after that and they'd be like, "So what's new? What's going on? What's shaking?" And I'd just be kind of like, cricket, cricket, because I had pressured myself into being this Marilyn Monroe-esque character, but still bringing on all the same things, all the same insecurities. I was just kind of covering it up with hair dye or bleach. So I realized I couldn't take this same mentality. I couldn't take this same driver and stick it in a Maserati and still perform the same. No, I'm still that same driver. I'm still the girl who drove the 23 Highlander, you know? Still me underneath this bleach and a lot of hair conditioner. Still me under there. So really honing in and sitting with myself, writing down my triggers or pausing when I felt triggered, when I felt like something was changing inside of me. A lot of times it would come from conversations or little disappointments and the pressure I put on myself again to perform. If I didn't hit my goals, instead of freaking out and reaching for more bleach, I paused and reassessed my sales tactics, reassessed what wasn't working, looked at the analytics, look at the backup, what was happening. How can I gain more confidence by gaining more sales? Was it just that time of year? Were people not just ready? Was there something going on in the background? That really made me stop and change. It was like, oh, maybe it wasn't me. Maybe it was actually you. Or maybe it just wasn't the right time for you to buy what I was selling. Or, and a lot of times I did communication. I talked to my clients in my network and was like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, our numbers aren't looking the same. Like, were you happy with your last order? Like, what's going on? Oh, you know what? Actually, we just had the craziest budget cuts. We've never had these budget cuts before." And this is a real conversation I had with my client. We've had these budget cuts and we've really kind of had to look at our books and figure out what we can spend on and what we can't spend on. And it was like, oh, it truly wasn't me. You've got stuff going on. So let me stop here for a second. How are you feeling? How's it going for you? Everything okay? Like, do you want to talk about it for a second? And sharing this conversation and this dialogue, that's when I really felt powerful. That's when I felt the confidence come back. It wasn't me, but also now I'm helping you figure out your situation. And we hate the word no in sales. And this definitely wasn't a no. It just wasn't the right time, truly. But you know what? When you're ready to come back and you're ready to buy these products, these things, I want to be ready. I want to be prepared. So let's talk about this. And honestly, if you're networking and doing business, you need to know your clients because sometimes they're just as scared to talk to you as you are maybe of them. And I feel like you have to have this open communication. It's super important. So communicating is a micro change you can make. Communicate with yourself, your circle, your friends. Let them know what's going on. Now, you don't always have to post it on the internet for people's opinions and comments and all the things because it can be nasty, but it also could be really good too. There could be somebody going through it just as bad as you are. if not maybe worse, or maybe they've found the solution to what you're going through. So talk it out, reach out to your community, figure out changes that worked for them, and they might also work for you. There's power in that. And that's a way you can make a little change to empower the you are in this season. So those are things that can actually stick, little changes. Putting a sticky note up, sitting with yourself, reflecting, talking. Bring that back. Bring back the engagement. Can we please bring back the engagement of social media? And I'm not just talking about being a troll in the comments, but being real in the comments. I miss that. And if you lived through the MySpace era like we did, the top 8 was real. And we actually had to go to school the next day or work or whatever. It was school for me. And be like, hey, why'd you take me out of your top 8? Like, what's happening? And maybe that friend was like, you know what? I didn't like what you said to me last week, or this actually happened. And you know what? I bumped up so-and-so. The 2000s was cutthroat, okay? If you didn't make the top 8, it was a real big thing. So communicating was a micro change. Engaging offline, also very helpful. So remember, you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself to be a new you, a reinvented you, because if you're going to take that same driver, right? That same driver from the old beater into the new shiny car, you're just changing vehicles, but you still got that old driver mentality. And that's not going to work. You can't take the brunette, cover her in bleach, and think everything's going to change. That's definitely not going to work. So you have to make small changes to yourself, to your habits, to your daily routines to enhance that glow up. Start from the inside, then work your way out. So, okay, Mel G, you're talking all this stuff, but can you walk the walk? Absolutely. Low key, we can have resets that stick and that work for your life in the season you're in. Set realistic habits. It was super unrealistic for me to wake up in the morning and my hair was like down to my shoulders, and that was with my curls in, and I have really tight curls. So my hair was pretty long. My morning routines, just to do my hair took me about an hour. So I'm waking up extra early to attempt to get myself up, to get the kids up, get them ready, then get myself ready, make it on time to drop them off at school, and also make it on time to work for myself. Super unrealistic to think I'm waking up at 4 a.m. to do all of this. Now, if you're part of the 4 a.m. club, kudos to you, because I've tried it. I've been there. It worked for a while. 4 a.m. was not for me. 5:30 a.m. is my sweet spot. I can get up at 5:30 a.m. and function like a normal human being. But 4 a.m. was not it. But it would require me to wake up that early to try and get my hair done and have my whole morning done. So the drastic change I made to fit my lifestyle was to chop off all my hair. It's hot as Hades here in Texas, no matter what time of year you're in. So that helped, right? I'm not as hot, but I'm also not spending an hour and a half on my hair every morning. Like I said, having this short pixie cut hair allowed me 5 extra minutes in bed with my kiddos, allowed me, to have the little giggle fights and tickle fights and sitting with them and seeing how they're preparing for their day and what we can do together as a family. Little positive morning affirmations are things that I started noticing we were doing in the morning. We were on time. We weren't rushed. We weren't stressed. That was realistic for me. So making that drastic change and still keeping in the habits of getting up consistently on time, getting them ready, having that morning routine set, but just having it a little stressed because we weren't rushed. and I wasn't as grouchy because I wasn't waking up extra early to get it all done. Set realistic habits for yourself. If you are getting up at 4 a.m. to hit the treadmill and you realize by 6 o'clock you were totally burnt out and you're tired, maybe adjust the time for yourself. Be realistic. Be real to you. What's working? Maybe your habit is just to put a positive sticky note on your mirror every morning or just write a little message on your mirror. They make window markers now, so you can do that. Set realistic habits. Maybe it's having that same coffee and sitting with yourself instead of scrolling. Maybe you just kind of reflect on your day or where you want to go or what direction you want to go in life. Where is this season taking you? Set realistic habits that you can actually work. Flip your mindset. Yes, it was awesome being bleach blonde. And to have the mindset of this sexy blonde bombshell was too much for me. If you can do it, again, awesome. I'm here for it. I will clap for you every single time. But for me, that wasn't it. It was too much pressure. So instead of saying, I need to have this drastic change in my look, I just said I need to have a drastic change in the way I think about things. It wasn't about being blonde. People want to talk to me. So when I go to networking events, I didn't need to have blonde hair to start a conversation. I just needed to be me. I just needed to show up consistently and communicate with my clients and have that human connection. I needed to get offline. I flipped the mindset. I didn't need to be this character. I just needed to be Mel G. So be real and try to think a little bit more positively. That's worked for me a lot. Instead of going down the doom spiral of it's my fault, I'm not meeting my goals, I'm not where I'm supposed to be in this timeline, I really thought by 37 I'd have it all put together. I wouldn't be in debt. But you know what? It's supposed to be awkward. 37 is like the new late teens for me. It's so weird seeing the trends I had come back. It's a little triggering, for sure. You know, seeing kids wear the super low-rise jeans and realizing I could never do it. And then back again after having 3 kids and realizing I still can't do it. But, 10 years ago, I thought, hey, I'm going to have this 6-pack. Well, guess what? Instead of being sad and depressed about it, if I want to wear those low-rise jeans, I'm going to do it anyways, and you're just going to have to stare at my gut. And B, if I want to actually wear those and look good and feel good in it, maybe I do need to add a little bit more abs into my workout routine. Show up consistently and realistically. Flip the mindset, like I said with the jeans. Instead of saying, oh, I could never wear those jeans. Yeah, I can. Who says I can't? I can pay for them. I can wear them. I can rock them. I know my husband loves it and he still thinks I'm beautiful in them. And honestly, when I look in the mirror and I see myself in clothes that I thought I could never pull off, and I low-key pull them off, girl, stand back, okay? Give myself a pat on the back, take a few selfies. And that's what I want to post on social media. That real moment of, I didn't think I could ever look like this in these jeans, let alone at 37 with the mom pooch, the mom pooch, and still feel confident and amazing in them. I'm going to post about that, okay? Girl. So flip the mindset. Instead of thinking, I don't look a certain way or the way society wants me to look in these jeans, I look the way Mel G wants to look in these jeans, and she is killing it. So sometimes we just have to think about the scenario, because if you're going down the negative route, it's going to be negative. I mean, real. And honestly, set boundaries for yourself. If you know that wearing low-rise jeans might be a trigger and you're still feeling a little triggered after you put them on, yeah, maybe don't wear those. Maybe try a new look, something different. Baggy jeans are back in. Anyways, we're talking fashion. ADHD tangent flip. But setting boundaries can actually help give yourself a soft reset. Stay away from things that don't serve your peace. We've talked about that before. If it's not going to keep you peaceful and not going to keep you balanced, not going to keep you zen, it's not for you. Don't stress yourself out. Don't put extra pressure on yourself. Don't try and fit into the square box when you're a circle or a triangle or a rectangle. Don't do it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Set that boundary. Be real to yourself. And yes, set boundaries with your own boundaries. If you know it's a no and period, don't say no and but. Don't say no, no. If you set the boundary that no is going to mean no, then no. No. Period. So also set boundaries with your hairstylist. My sister does my hair and she already knows. Okay? Sometimes don't let me do the things I feel like I'm going to be doing. And she becomes my sister at that point when I'm like, I'm going through it and this is horrible. And I brought the bleach box. And she's like, Mel, have a seat. How about instead of going completely platinum, I'm going to add these highlights and you can spill your tea. You can cry in my chair and we'll talk about it. Ooh, sorry. Sister talk. But that's real. So I set a boundary with my sister that if I start to go crazy or I'm going through it, cut me off. Ask me what's going on in my life and my day to see why I'm trying to make this change. And usually by the end of our session, I am feeling lighter, but also, I have a different look. She won't let me go completely out of her chair unchanged, but she will help me feel mentally healthier. And sometimes it's really great to have, again, that human connection, not only just with my sister, but a woman who's older and has also experienced some of these things. And I can take from some of her wisdom and we can bounce some ideas off each other. We engage. And yes, setting boundaries. Super, super important. And we talk about it all the time. So anyways, if you're feeling like you're pressuring yourself to have this dramatic glow up, I encourage you to pause, figure out what's triggering this change, figuring out what kind of transformation you are truly wanting and needing, because maybe it's not as drastic as you think it should be. Maybe you really just need a soft reset. Maybe the Wi-Fi signal's just a little scrambled and you just need to go behind the box and hit reset and walk away for 30 seconds. Instead of unplugging the whole thing, calling your wireless provider, yelling at them, just hit reset on the box. Sometimes that's all it needs is a little 30-minute reboot. Take time to reflect what's going on inside. Is it you? Is it something that's going on outside in the world? Is it something that's triggering you? And what changes can we make that aren't so drastic that can help us with this reset? Is it just every other day hitting the reset button? Is it maybe trying a new hairstyle every morning instead of going bleach blonde? Is it just doing the big chop one time to better off your morning routine because you have a little bit extra time? Reflect on what you truly need. Look in the inside first, and then you can start to make those exterior changes. Do you really need to hop in the Maserati, or do you just need to change your mindset driving the vehicle you're currently in life? Because both are going to take you from A to B, but if you're not in your head, making those changes and changing your habits and setting those boundaries and flipping the script on how you think about life, you're just taking the same driver in a new car. You're getting from point A to point B the same way. It's up to you if you want to turn on the radio and jam out, or if you're going to sit in silence and crash out. And not in like the sleepy way, but in the way like these kids are talking like Karens and Jessicas are flipping out. So, do you want to crash out or do you want to thrive through life? Take time for yourself, take time to reflect, and remember before you hop on the phone and be a complete Karen to your wireless provider, or you hop into your cosmetologist chair with a box of bleach, think about what you really need. Do you just need to hit the reset button? Do you just need a quicker morning routine? What do you need to serve in this season of life? What do you need right now to reset to continue thriving? Did this episode catch you on the way to your hairstylist's office? Were you about to go maraschino cherry red? Yeah, I'm glad I stopped you. Did this episode resonate? Are you going to make that drastic change because you actually need a drastic change? Or are you chasing reinvention? Know a friend who just bought a pack of bleach hair dye, and maybe you want to stop them from making a drastic change when all they need is a soft reset? Pass this episode along. It really helps a small podcaster like myself get heard and seen. But also, maybe stop people from making drastic changes when all they really need is to hit the reset button. Make sure you subscribe to get more low-key thriving tips or just to listen to me yap for a little bit longer. Thanks for listening. Okay, bye. Thank you for tuning in. Honestly, my hope is that you feel like you're thriving in whatever season of life you're in. Even if that season of life means stretchy waistbands, because honestly, who wants to fight with buttons at this age? Anywho, remember that surviving is thriving. You woke up to air in your lungs, another day, another 24 hours to fulfill with your amazingness. So, yeah, thrive through it. And speaking of surviving, next week we're getting into who you really are when you're not in survival mode 24/7. Okay, stay tuned. Bye. If this conversation met you where you are, stay with me. New episodes every week on Low Key Thriving. If this felt like something someone else might need, send it their way. Take what you need and leave the rest. And remember,